real estate story time and a warning to anybody who is thinking about selling for sell by owner. Pay attention to what happened in this transaction to understand why I advocate so much for sellers to definitely bring in a real estate agent to protect their interests. The basics of this for people who don't have a lot of time to listen to the entire video is that there are a lot of specifications within real estate law that can cost you thousands of dollars if it's not handled properly. And for most people, they don't know the ins and outs of their property. It could have something to do with the construction components. It could have something to do with the location, different designations for the property. And unless you have the full broad knowledge of everything, you could be held liable not only in the short term, but in the long term. They have things that can cause you to get sued, say years from now, whenever something is discovered because you simply didn't have the information for real estate law. I want you to compare this to when you have a medical condition. There's a reason that you go out and you seek professional advice and guidance from nurses and doctors. It's because there's no way for any one person to have all that knowledge. It's not your area of expertise. You have your areas of expertise. Feel comfortable hiring someone to make sure that your interests are protected. Now it's time for the story time if you have time to listen. So one of the things I always say is be sure to interview your real estate agent, because in this particular scenario, I was representing the buyer and the agent that was representing the seller did not have enough knowledge on real estate law. There was a particular construction component that was discovered during the inspection. I knew how to handle it, therefore I included it in the inspection response on the proper form documenting what needed to be done per the parish's laws and requirements. The seller signed off on the agreement, but they hadn't read it. Their agent didn't read it. She didn't even know to look for it. And that was a big red flag. So what I'm going to ask you to do is that if I'm in your service area, you definitely should hire me. But if you're not going to hire me, or if you're not in my service area, you really need to ask questions. The biggest interview question that you can ask a real estate agent is to explain to you a problem that they have solved. In particular, a problem they solved with a property like yours. There's a lot that can go missed. And if this couple had been trying to sell the house on their own, they would have never known that this issue existed. So in most cases, people do choose real estate agents with enough knowledge. But if they had tried to sell on their own, they wouldn't have. In a few years from now, it could have been major financial issues for them that would have been completely unexpected. But hiring someone like me who has a broad spectrum of real estate knowledge, differences between different parishes, whether it be St. Tammany, whether it be Terrebonne, Orleans, Jefferson, I have a broad spectrum of knowledge. I'm always studying, I'm always learning, and I'm looking at different properties and what their requirements are. And that's what I bring to my clients. So that's the information I wanted to share with you guys. It's very simply this also helps buyers when you have an educated real estate agent who also knows how to be adaptable depending on the current transaction, because all of them are somehow different. And that's what your real estate agent needs to be prepared for. So if you are interested in talking more, whether you are buying or selling, send a text to the number on the screen or in the caption below. Peace. And just as a PS to that story, I did actually step in and make sure that things were handled properly, thankfully, on behalf of my client as well as the other agent's client. And that sometimes is what happens as a real estate agent. We not only have to watch out for ourselves, we sometimes have to watch out for the person on the other side as well.